Mamdani, Senator Elizabeth Warren is drumming up support for socialist policies as the way forward for the Democratic Party, telling them to embrace a populist tax-the-rich economic platform and stop cozying up to wealthy donors. Watch.
Movers and shakers want the Democratic Party to respond to the 2024 losses by watering down our economic agenda and sucking up to the rich and powerful, claiming that a less progressive Democratic Party will win more elections. They are wrong. A Democratic Party that worries more about offending big donors than delivering for working people is a party doomed to fail in 2026, 2028, and beyond. It is not enough simply to attack Trump.
And get this, Senator Warren claims that President Trump called her right after that speech to talk about affordability. Greg, I find it so ironic that as she lambasts the rich and powerful, she is excluding herself from that group. No one is more rich and powerful than she is, and our legislators that have been decaying and growing roots in their positions for decades, and nothing changes.
She's got two, I think, homes worth in the millions. That's a lot of wampum.
Yep.
But I think you pointed this out earlier, a long time ago, Dana. Once the left became millionaires, they shifted their target to billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
And if you took all of the money that belonged to billionaires, you wouldn't make a dent in the money that they have stolen from our taxpayers. When you see the same faces and the same names surviving every year, regardless of the corruption or the incompetence, it tells you, again, this is the forever war. It's not overseas. It's here. Liz, Maxine, Adam Schiff, Nadler, Schumer. You know, they do not learn from the murderous consequences of deadly ideologies of the past. That's a forever war. And we have to keep, it's like we have to keep having this argument every day. Again, I go back to the strategic ignorance. They pretend like they don't know what could happen. What are the consequences of socialism? What are the consequences of taxing wealthy people so that they leave, which is what's happening in California. California just lost $500 billion in tax base because the billionaires, who, by the way, sat by while California went in the dumps. So it's hard to have sympathy for them. But, you know, in foreign countries, socialism exists as a tool to control the population. They could take it or leave it if they find something else, you know. But they have a better chance of falling than the American brand because it's camouflage. It's protected by the media. It's protected by academia. In fact, academia is probably the main reason why this stuff is still around, because they pump this noxious ideology into young people's brains who don't know any better. And then we are in charge of having to school them every day at this wonderful show called The Five.
Yeah. I was thinking how she sounded just like a professor during that, and that's where she belongs. Dana, I find it so troubling that during this administration, with so much power has been restored to the people, she's just advocating to give that power from big corporations, but back to the government, to herself.
Well, she never saw a populist smoke signal that she didn't want to fan the flames of. I mean,
Yes.
The thing that bothers me is that a lot of what she's talking about sometimes are things that are coming out of the administration. Like some of the ideas, like on the capping of credit card rates. Come at me, whatever. Their ideas, like hers, they melt on contact with economic reality. And the best thing that you can do is to figure out a way to have a low tax base where a lot of people are paying in, give opportunity to a lot of people, cut back on the regulations like this administration is doing. She's not talking about that. Everything she wants to do is to regulate and make things harder for businesses to compete. So I think that what's interesting is that there's a lot of coverage about the split amongst the Republicans and is MAGA coming apart and what's happening to the action where all the division is really on the Democratic side. This morning you saw Rahm Emanuel, who might want to run in 2028, saying he wants to be a part of the renewal wing rather than just the, basically get rid of Donald Trump wing. That's what she would find herself there. But this is the last calculation I think that she's figured out. She believes that Bernie Sanders is too old to run again in 2028. So she says, how can I get 2 steps to his left or 2 lanes to his left so that she can try to fill that?
The thing that I see from her too, Jesse, is this othering businesses and who do you think owns the businesses? Hardworking Americans and veterans. They start out small, and guess what? In this capitalistic environment, if you become successful, they become larger and maybe big. So she's lambasting literally the majority of Americans, which is probably why so many are fleeing her party.
So she's a populist and Trump's a populist. So Trump tries to help workers and she tries to hurt CEOs. She's about punishing CEOs. It's like revenge porn. You know, this is about punishment. It doesn't help anybody. She's just getting back at them. And that does appeal to a lot of people who hate their bosses or think their bosses are overpaid
Your
or
staff.
make too much money. And so that'll work because people get angry about that, but that's not effective. And if you look at the Democrats' program, whether it's Obamacare, that just helped insurance companies. Open borders just helps companies depress wages. The vax mandate, that just helped big pharma. A lot of their policies only help donors. They don't actually help the working man. So until she can figure out how to thread the needle between making sure companies are fair to workers, but also making sure that workers can get a leg up, then she's just a hater.
Yeah, is she pushing away all those swing and working class voters by leaning into this?
Not based on the generic ballot or party ID. It's been a 13-point swing towards Democrats since the 2024 election. And Republicans, you can talk about us all you want and say these socialists, these communists, or whatever, but they're
No,
losing
you guys
elections.
are saying that.
No, she
Mamdani
didn't stand
says
up.
he's
and
a socialist.
It doesn't. Listen, Jesse
not
says
saying it.
who's going to help the worker. We've been bleeding blue-collar jobs. Manufacturing's contracted for, like 10 months in a row. And Elizabeth Warren is just being Elizabeth Warren. She has talked this way her entire career. There's nothing new there. Also, I said in the last segment that what Jesse said was boring. That wasn't nice of me. I actually didn't even think that it was boring.
Oh, we're apologizing now?
Peace.
Well, you can
Peace
go
in the
next.
East.
Maybe
but-
I didn't say anything
I know.
mean to you this show.
No, Greg
This
upset
show.
me, and I
If
took it
anybody
out
should
on you.
apologize, it's Greg.
D-Block.
I'm
Greg.
trying to actually help people.
Just
if
at
you
everyone.
listen to me, your entire life would improve.
Look at them.
I listen to you all the time, and it has not had
It's
that
true.
effect.
How do you sit around the table with all these brilliant minds, Jessica, and nothing rubs off?
All right,
I
that's what,
just was
Maybe
nice to
that's
you.
more about
I'm
us
sorry.
than
Oh, you know what?
her.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now
There we
I'm
go.
sorry.
that's smoking the peace pipe.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.